The University of Oregon is located in Eugene, a city of 80,000 people, situated in the lush Willamette River Valley, midway between Cascade Mountains and the Pacific Ocean.
Touchdown, Stewart. Yeah, I got your speed right here.
Hey, ball corner 10, outside block. Are you kidding me?
I'm really proud of where this team's at. We got a lot of work to do.
What's the deal, Duck family? I am Kenjon alongside Jay Stu, and we want to welcome you to another episode of the Ducks Have a Feather podcast. Got one heck of an episode in store for you. Ducks do it again, baby. We go out. I felt like that intro went real long today, or I started early. One or the other. But
hey, that was absolutely incredible, man. That was a great intro.
You know what I'm saying? Ducks get it done again, 21-7 versus the Wisconsin Badgers out there in a monsoon of a rainstorm in Eugene, Oregon. You know, the saying, it never rains in Alton Stadium. That's one of the biggest lies I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
I've never understood it because on my visit, I heard that saying, and in fact, it was pouring.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, through it all, the Ducks get it done, 21-7. And what I seen online and through conversation is not a lot of people were happy with this win or how it came about. But before we go into that, I cannot go without asking my guy, how was your weekend?
It was good, man. You know,
look, before you go, I know one thing for sure, two things for certain. You won't come in here talking no Panther football today.
I digress.
Well, okay. All right.
But look, it was a good weekend, though, man. You know, you see these shirts that we're wearing.
Just in case you don't.
Okay, that tie-dye by Cricket. My boy Billy hooked us up. Brother Billy Cricket gave us these shirts. Got the U of O on there. Obviously, this past weekend, the Grateful Duck, you know, taking it back to the Grateful Dead. And clearly, we almost died. In the monsoon. And because if we was one category away of being inferior to the elements, we could have been having a different discussion today, right?
Yeah.
But I believe, you know, we'll get into it. You know, the elements were out there and they were crazy. I'm just glad I didn't have to go to that game and watch it in person.
I had a lot of people because I was supposed to be at that game. And I had a lot of people sending me text messages, DMs, hey, are you here? I said,
nope.
Happily, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not there.
I am warmed up.
Listen, I'm in 80-degree weather out here in Southern California. I am not in that. So, no, I wasn't mad that I wasn't there neither. But, you know, the Ducks went out there. They get it done. Dante Moore, 9 of 15, 86 yards. Brock Thomas came in after Dante went to the sideline with 4 for 4 for 46 yards. Running backs did their thing again. Jordan Davidson, 16 carries for 102, 6.4 and 2 touchdowns. Noah Whittington, 14 for 97 with a long of 36, 6.9. Dier Hill, 2 for 28. Went out there and got it done. Now, there was a lot of chatter online about this game, and I was even having some back and forth through the DMs about this game. Me and Garen spoke about this game during the game. I was actually traveling. I was on daddy duty, okay? I had to go to soccer games and do what I had to do. So I wasn't in tune to the live action, but I did get the opportunity to go back and watch it. But as I was keeping up with the play-by-play on ESPN and not being able to see the game in live time, I was puzzled. And I was hearing how we started the game with the onside kick, right? And then we did nothing with that. And so as I'm having these conversations, what are your thoughts on the game? I was like, well, I'm not watching it, but based on what I'm seeing, I'm not going to say what I said because I said I wouldn't curse on here. But WTF was my thought process. What the truck? That was my initial reaction to what I was seeing on the Gamecast. Like, what in the world is going on? Why are we struggling against a 2-6 team that was shut out twice in the last 2 weeks? This is a struggling team, we shouldn't be struggling. But I wasn't watching live, but nevertheless, we were struggling. But what were your thoughts? Did you get to see it live?
Oh, I saw it live. I was right there. I was right there in my little chair.
You witnessed that, huh?
Yeah, I was right there in my chair. In my little cave, and I was sitting there just like this, Kenyon.
Yeah.
And eventually, I put myself in a football player's shoes, in their situation. And I came away with this, right? Because as I was watching the game, I started looking up stats. I started looking up Wisconsin, started looking up who they are. Like, what's
What?
happening?
Are we missing something?
Are we missing something? And one of the things that came to my knowledge is that Wisconsin is like that in the run and run defense.
Right. Yes.
They like
yes.
that, and that's what they. If you are a team like Wisconsin coming into an environment in Eugene, Oregon, hostile environment, all the stuff, all the hype, you are telling your team, we stop the run. That's what we're good at, and we're gonna run the ball. That's what we're gonna do, and it's raining outside. This is our chance, guys. Buy in and buy in now. Because that's what we saw in those first 2 quarters. Those first 2 quarters, whatever that coach told them, they believed it and they jumped off the cliff with it. Okay? Because they was, Isaiah World was struggling right there in pass protection early in the game. That defensive end was showing he made himself a paycheck that game.
Are you talking about Daryl Patterson in the 17?
Yes.
Boy.
He made himself.
I'm not gonna lie. I was glad he headbutted Brock. Get him out of here. Get him out the game. Listen, Brock. I wanted no harm to come to you, but I was yes. He's gone. Yes. Get him out of here.
He got to go because he's gonna be a problem. Out! He is a problem. And I hated it for him in the moment. I was like, dang, that brother's gone. But it's over with.
Nah.
Dirty player. No.
Hey. Goodbye.
No, you hate to see stuff like that. In all honesty, but
yeah,
it went in our favor because and I looked at the game before they played Ohio State. Right, we talked about it last week. We were like, man, Ohio State let this team come in there and give them troubles, right? Even though Ohio State beat them 34-0, something like that.
Yeah, blanked them.
Looking at that stat sheet, Ohio State could not achieve 100 yards on the ground because Wisconsin is like that. The difference between Ohio State and Wisconsin game is that it was dry weather. Okay, the weather was not a factor, so they was able to air it out. Okay, we didn't have that opportunity because the ball being wet and all of that. It's Will Stein's a smart coordinator. He is looking at this from one idea only. It has to be the way we called that game. I don't want to turn the ball over. I'm not turning the ball over. This team right here is good at their defensive line is a unit.
Yeah.
And they're going to give us some problems. So the only thing we can do is run the ball and slow them down with screens, right? Now we know we the screen kings, okay?
Boy.
And it did come to it came into like a little bit of a stagnant flow of the game here and there, but it did work out with some explosives down the road. In the second quarter, but the name of the game is to move the chains, and if we can do that better than the other team, we give ourselves a chance. Our defense came to play, in my opinion. Watching that, coming back, it's a slippery out there. It's wet. The conditions, you're gonna have to overcome some adversity, and I think our defense did a good job of doing that. Yeah, we gave up a touchdown late. But at the end of the day, it was a nasty game to be a part of, and we won the gritty, nasty game. Period.
This game played right into Wisconsin's hand. This is why I said I wasn't mad at it initially. Once I got the opportunity to go sit and watch, I'm like, this game played into Wisconsin's favor, right? A team that can stop the run.
Yeah.
A team that team whose strength is the run, right? You have a quarterback who couldn't throw a rock in the middle of the ocean. Maybe I shouldn't say that because they be.
That boy couldn't throw a rock in the middle of the ocean. God, the ocean pretty big now, Kenyon.
Well, okay.
He can't
Yeah,
throw
it
it.
is.
He can't even get it to the ocean. You're saying
That boy couldn't throw a rock in the middle of the ocean.
So he's
Hunter
standing
Simmons.
real like offshore somewhere. Like,
boy, listen.
Is he standing in the town or is he standing in the city?
He could be standing right on the shoreline.
Dang.
Oof. No disrespect.
So he throwing it.
See,
backwards.
they probably gonna edit that out.
Keep that in.
Listen, I feel like I'm the reason there's so much editing that has to be done.
Nah, man, I'll be doing some stuff.
No,
but you're saying it played it right into their hands, and how?
Because this became a ground game, right? On defense, their strength is stopping the run. They don't have a strong secondary, so now you eliminate Oregon's ability to attack you through the air. And I want to stop right there. Hey, fellas, go get all-weather gloves in games like that. Take them little slippery, sticky things off. They're not effective in a rainstorm.
I got one better for you.
No, we're not.
Learn to catch without the gloves, fellas.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We are not. This is not the 70s and the 80s.
This is also the 90s and the 2000s.
We wear gloves. Don't know. Listen,
man, look. All I know is when it rained, them gloves came off. Or I put them leather. I put them leather joints on. Them old school leather joints.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The all weather, you need them. So fellas, put them on. But again, you take the passing game basically out of the equation. So now it has to become a ground game, right?
Yeah, one-dimensional.
So this you become one-dimensional without a defense making you one-dimensional. So this essentially played right into Wisconsin's hands. We are a team that likes to take advantage of the air. We could not do that due to the elements. And we got lucky. In all honesty, with when Brock came in, he threw a pass, I believe, on the right-hand side, on our sideline, that really should have been picked off. But the defender had, on them slippery vapor gloves, and the ball went right through, and we ended up completing it.
Should have had no gloves on. He would have caught it.
To the corner. He might have, but I'm glad he did. He did have gloves on. So, again, I'm not mad at how this game was won. I'm not mad at how this game looked. I'm not bothered by that, because at the end of the day, the objective of every football game is to get a W.
Yeah.
It's to get a win. I don't care how it comes, what it looks like. That's the objective of football. The objective is to win. And we did exactly that. Now, where I did have issues of concern was early in the game, prior to weather becoming a factor, prior to Dante Moore leaving the game. I want us to take a look at our first 4 possessions. We got the ball on the whip. First of all, how we started the game. We started the game with a surprise onside kick, and we did absolutely nothing with that. Zero. Nothing. We didn't do a mini thought with that thing, okay?
Yeah, bucko.
Turn that into 0 points. So we get the ball on Wisconsin 42-yard line, 4 plays, we get -2 yards. We turn it over on downs. Then we get the ball on our own 16, 5 plays, 7 yards, and a punt. Again, on Wisconsin's 47, 3 plays, -2 yards, and a punt. Then we get the ball on our own 18, 6 plays, 13 yards on the drive, and a punt. Up until going into at the 1 minute mark into this first quarter, we had 3 yards of total offense. 3 yards of total offense. We had 21 total yards in the second quarter, and -16 rushing yards going into this. This is where I become concerned, right? Me and Garen was talking, and the question was like, do you think it's execution or do you think it's play calling? And I think it was both.
Yeah.
I think both play a part in this. It's the players not executing, and it's the plays that we're calling. And again, I feel like from an offensive standpoint, again, just primarily focusing on the first quarter and a half before weather, kind of dictated the game. We were so inconsistent. We go from last week, right? Let's go back before that. We go from Indiana. Then we go to Rutgers and put on an absolute show. And then we come back in the first quarter and a half of this game, and we look like we're right back at the Indiana game.
Yep.
And so there's a inconsistency that exists within the offense right now that we have to get figured out.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an identity, right? Identity in your play calling.
You hit it.
Because I think when we shifted our backs to Jordan Davidson, we started running different plays. right? You talk about the wham play where you take a tight end and you basically bring him across the line of scrimmage and he crashes out on the back spill player, right? And running back just basically takes the handoff downhill. And because of the motion of the tight end, you're getting linebacker freeze. And when
Yeah.
you got linebackers freeze, guess what? It makes it easier for the offensive lineman to get upfield to the next level to get their next block, right? So they started getting more elusive in the sense of how do we get to the next level? How do we get our running backs to the guys that they can actually make miss and break tackles on, right? And the identity there is hit a guy in the mouth. Hit him in the mouth, right? Let's not run away from these guys. Like, I get it. We've had the ability to get the outside. That comes as you earn it. And our offensive line against their defensive line, I think we should have known a little bit better and anticipated the fact that, hey, this is one of their strengths, right?
Yeah.
Their edges, their perimeter game was pretty locked in early on. Because if you're them, you have to think to themselves like, well, we have to make sure we're good on the edges. So they're going to try with all their might as being a top defense in rushing to make sure they do their job and contain the edges. All right. So if that's what their game plan is, we got to make sure that we get creative in our run game, gap scheme, right? Get these guys moving, get some pullers, get some lead blocking going, and get the linebackers to flow over top. And so that way you give some more space for our running backs.
Yeah.
I think we started accommodating for that second quarter and leads into the third quarter and whatnot. But I would love to see us figure that out sooner in the game plan.
Yeah, excuse me, you said two things, right? That I want to focus on and then lean into the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
I loved what I seen from our offensive line down the field.
Yeah.
Right. There's
Finishing
plays
blocks.
where finishing blocks on runs, and you see Poncho, you see Harkey,
Harkey had 2 blocks pancaked.
Yeah,
Boys.
yeah.
Go ahead with your bad self.
Go ahead, brother. I loved that, right? I love seeing Poncho downfield. I love seeing them knock guys off of piles. I didn't mind the penalty that Poncho got. I believe it was on the Wisconsin sideline. I think it was on Decorian. I think it was Decorian downfield. He ended up getting, I think, a unnecessary roughness.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was.
I didn't mind that.
Yeah,
I didn't mind that at all. I go back to our Carolina Panthers days with Masco. Masco, he used to always say, hey, "You see the runner, and they're piling them. Knock those bastards off of them.
Mm-hmm.
Knock them off of them."
It's setting the tone, the expectation.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And so I loved seeing that. Excuse me. Wow. And then you talked about the creativity in the run game, and there was one play in particular that I thought, again, Will Stein. There was two. Will Stein showing his brilliance as a offensive coordinator. The first play was with Jordan Davidson. You had Gary Bryant lined up. This was, I believe this was right at the end of, late in the second, you had Gary Bryant lined up in a dot in the I formation, and you motion Jordan Davidson into that split position, which is a spot that he typically blocks from. But we ended up running basically like a fullback dive out of that.
Yeah.
I thought that was beautifully designed.
Yep.
I thought that was creativity at its finest.
And crucial moment. Like, we got to convert here. And kudos to Jordan Davidson of just being a pawn. You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna talk about him. We're gonna get to him individually.
He can play almost any position, it seemed like. Yeah. Because he's willing. Like, this is a guy that he's a football player. When we talk about guys that love football, I'll go down and put my hand in the dirt. Like, whatever I gotta do, I know it's gonna serve. He's servicing the team. And that, to me, speaks volumes. It sets the culture. It sets the brand of football in which Oregon should be playing, and sets the tone for the rest of his career. Whatever he wants to do, here's the keys.
Yeah, we could honestly stay right there with him. Again, Jordan Davidson ended the game with 16 carries for 102 yards, 6.4 and 2 touchdowns. we got to understand what we're watching when we watch Jordan Davidson, right? It's not just his ability to run through guys. It's not just his ability in the goal line area. It's his ability throughout the entire field of play, right? It's his ability to be patient, to take choppy steps, still moving forward, to set blocks up, faking out to get back inside. This dude is special.
Running with leverage, being able to bounce it. You know, when you have nothing there and you feel the bounce, not everybody feels the bounce. Some people just bounce it because it's just in their DNA, and they can be wrong all the time.
Yeah.
He knows when to bounce it. It's almost like watching a receiver running an out route. Does he have the ability to run this out route and still give himself space on the sideline to make somebody miss? Some guys have it, some guys don't.
Some guys don't.
This guy has all the tools in the bag, and it goes to what you were talking about, choppy steps. Like, it's not him dancing. It's him running at a tempo to where he's still slow too and still about to be fast through. But get out my head. but those are the exciting pieces to what we see in environments like that. Yes, it was an ugly win. There's no style points in any of that game. But one thing you do come away with as far as the positives is that we can run the ball.
1,000%.
We had to run it, and when the time came, we did it, right?
Yeah.
The jet sweep to Noah Whittington, I thought that was brilliant. Giving your guy the ball so that way he can get busy. You know, you create opportunities for your playmakers to make plays, and they actually do it and execute it. Those are confidence builders that's going to lead to the next game and the next game, right? And that's in your bag. So now, you might have saw the Oregon Ducks struggle in the passing game and pass protection in a game affected by the elements. That's not an excuse, but since we are fans and we're sitting here talking about the game, we're going to sit here and say the elements were a factor.
Yeah.
We put that on film. But what we also put on film is when Oregon wants to run the ball, they're going to figure it out. And that's something to definitely take a week.
I was when I was up at CBS a couple of weeks ago, we were watching the Ohio State game, or we were talking about the Ohio State game, and we were talking about how they look, right? They look like the number one team in the country. They're effective, they're explosive, they get the job done. Their defense is playing at a all-time great level right now. And so the question was asked by Hakeem, is there an area where this team can improve? Like where can they get better? And my guy Rich was talking about their run game, but he was saying, like, I think this team is complete. And I said no. I said I disagree. I said I think the only place that we haven't seen Ohio State truly be effective and truly be dominant is in the run game. I said, because it's one thing, right, to be able to run when you can, but when you have to run, can you? I haven't seen, I haven't seen Ohio State put the game on their back through the run game.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And so when I say this, it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. And so the question again with us that I believe was answered: can we dominate the ground when we need to? Can we turn to our backs? Can we turn and rely on our offensive line? And can we dominate the line of scrimmage and win a game on the ground?
Yeah.
And that was proven. And that's a question that's still up in the air for a lot of teams. And there's always questions, right, about teams. Can you do this? Can you do that? But I think that was a question that was answered not only for us, but for the rest of the country. Okay, no. Oregon can get down and play grimy, dirty football. And grind it out.
Because that, like, to that point, so you take Ohio State's performance, and we're just talking about Wisconsin right now, because Wisconsin's an interesting team. If they had any talent in certain areas on that offense,
go ahead and say it.
They would be a better team. They wouldn't be as bad.
That's the tourist in me. That's the tourist in me. You got to excuse me sometime. But the tourist in me.
But Wisconsin. You take the Ohio State game in Wisconsin. that's a different ball game if it's wet outside. If the weather is a factor, are they throwing the ball as well as they did? They had 4 touchdowns, 300 yards passing that game, Ohio State, and they struggled running the ball, right? And does that change the outcome of how we view Ohio State in a game where they need to depend on the run the way we had to depend on the run, right? So there's a lot of, what ifs and wonders and all those types of things when it comes to these games week in and week out. I feel like college football this is an exciting time because you don't really know what to expect for a lot of these top teams. Besides right now, Texas A&M, they out here rolling. Indiana, they've earned my respect. Ohio State, you're next. Okay, you're next as far as being judged. Because to your point, bro, like I'm just saying, like you have to have a running game. They had a running game last year, and it was through Junkins and Henderson. and them boys showed out in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
And they showed the reason why they were the best because they had it all.
Yeah. I can't disagree with you, right? Especially when you look at the Big Ten and you look at this conference and you look at obviously you have Indiana, you got Ohio State, you got Oregon, you got Iowa, Michigan, USC, and Minnesota will kind of cap it right there. When you look at Indiana, you know who Indiana is, right? You know what they can do. You know what their strengths are. When you look at Ohio State, in my opinion, their passing game is their strength. Their defense is the strength of the entire team, right? That's the number one strength they have, defensive football. That defensive side of the ball is playing lights out football. When you look at Oregon, I think we're the most inconsistent top 10 team. And from it's like you kind of don't know what you're going to get from us, right?
Which is a good thing, right? During this time of the year. As long as we develop and continue to learn, right?
Right.
And we have the coaching staff to be able to give us the hope and thought that, hey, they're getting the coaching. They're in the rooms.
You know what?
They're figuring out their lessons and what they should be able to come away with, right? Yeah. Yes, the offensive line is Isaiah World. Hey, boy, you got whooped. Can't let that happen. You can't let that happen, right?
Call a spade a spade, baby.
You can't let that happen because now you're going to get tried the next game. You got to buy a week. Don't fall asleep. You got to buy a week. Make sure you're in there getting everything that you need done physically. To watch film, go through your play sets, your pass sets, all those types of things or fits, and come prepared for everyone's best for the rest of the season because they are going to absolutely attack the things that they see as weaknesses on film as they watching you, right? Because everybody watching.
Yeah. You brought something up just now. We got to talk about these bye weeks, and we got to talk about going back to last season. We struggle coming off of bye weeks. We struggle to find a rhythm. We struggle to find our identity. What is it that you think we need to do as a team to obviously maximize rest and recovery during the bye week to get back healthy, but also stay in tune and stay in game, like game time mode? What do we need to do in order to maximize these bye weeks so that we can come out looking like the Oregon football team that we know that we can be?
Self-scout.
Hold on, wait hold that thought, because you talked about damn it, I didn't forgot what you had hit a point that you had changed the way that I was thinking. But go ahead, answer that. Self-scout. Go ahead. I'm gonna get back to it.
Stay with it now. Don't lose it.
I'm
fishing pole.
Look, I'm sitting in that boat right now. I'm patiently waiting.
No, but I would say bye weeks, man. When we had the most effective bye weeks.
I gotta cut you off because I found it.
Okay. He found it, ladies and gentlemen.
I caught a big one.
All right.
I caught a big one.
Put this one back into the cooler.
No, you talked about it being like at this time of year, right?
Mm-hmm.
We always talk about in a game of football and sports that really all across the board is peaking.
Yeah.
And so going back to that CBS, it was like, do you think Ohio State is peaked? And I said I wouldn't say that because the run game is still something that we're uncertain about. That's still an area of improvement that we can see.
Mm-hmm.
And so with Oregon, right, you said it, as long as we're learning, and I always say this, I haven't lost the past 10, 15 years of my life. I
Uh-huh.
don't lose. You're like, what are you talking about? Because I learn. As long
Mhm.
as
Yep.
I'm learning, I'm
And
never
not
losing.
losing.
I'm always winning. And so, to your point, and you changed the way I was looking at it. That's why it's two of us, baby. That's why it's
Just
me
the
and you
two of
and you.
us. Just the two of us.
Just the two of us. I knew what you was waiting on. I knew what you was waiting on. But yes, no, I completely agree with you that as long as we are progressing, right? As
Mhm.
long as we are moving in the right direction and we're learning from our mistakes and we're growing and not consistently repeating the same things. I'm right in line with you, right?
Yeah.
We're still growing, we're still maturing, we're still evolving as a team. And that's why the football season is as long as it is,
Yeah.
right? It's a chance for evolution, it's a chance for evolvement, it's a
Evolving.
chance for growth. So no, you were that's what I was
And
fishing
I
for, and I'm
think
glad
the
I found it.
teams that have the better coaching staff, the better formula, better way of management, right? That's
Yeah.
where, um, Dan is different. And he's proven it, through content that we've been able to see over the past few years as far as his approach to the game. I mean, even talking to the leaders of this, of this football team, talking to Dante Moore and just how his thoughts on, how he sees his coaching staff, and how hands on they are. Yeah, we were just at head coach's house last night, and whoop de whoop, and he had us have these types of leadership accountability meetings and all
Yeah.
kind of stuff, right? So the intentionality behind the scenes gives me that hope, and it gives me that firm foundation of believing that this is what's taking place. And when you have games where it's like we leave as fans scratching our heads, they're going back into the office regrouping with a plan, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that's kind of my thought process, even with the first bye week experience, right? How did that happen? How did we get loads of sleep? What did we do wrong in our preparation, during the first bye week leading into Indiana? How can we get over that hump? And
Hmm.
going back to what I think is a huge opportunity is to self scout. You're spending so much time throughout the season, you know, game planning for this team, game planning for that
Hmm.
team. You don't have an opportunity to evaluate, right?
Yeah.
You evaluate, you assess, but then you gotta teach your players to do the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, so what do I struggle with? Do I struggle with pre-snap reads? When I
Hmm.
see something, do I get spooked? I think you do, because that's what showed in Indiana, right? You
Right.
see you see a certain coverage, you lock in on it, and then they drop out, and then you're spooked. You forget your game, you forget what you're capable of. You forget where your outlets are. You forget what the flow of the offensive scheme in which you're running, right? And you just got to stick to it. So you take this time during bye week to get back to that self scouting, knowing what you're good at, knowing what you need to work on, and you're going through those motions, right? You're not ignoring the fact that you have Iowa coming up, so you sprinkle in Iowa here and there for that first week, and then you get back to business on the week of, right? And I think the
Hmm.
week of practices should not be hard practices. I think the harder practices should be this week, right? You
Okay.
have your bye week. This should be the week that you say, okay, we're gonna go in and we're gonna do a little bit more extra, right? This is the time for extra work.
My question to you on that though, right? If you say this week should be harder, how do you actively recover during the bye with that?
You recover because you don't have a game, KB. So
Hmm.
Saturday, what we doing? Watching TV, watching games. I'm not saying you're gonna go out here like spring ball by
Okay.
any means.
Okay. Okay.
We're
Well,
not.
listen,
We ain't got no spring ball going.
listen, make it clear for me,
Yeah,
baby.
we ain't out here getting the work. We ain't out here building railroads, but we but we gonna put in this work. We're gonna have an emphasis on the fact that this week's practice is not like a game week, right?
Yeah.
This is a week of self scouting. This is a week of building the fact, like reaffirming the foundation, reaffirming the culture of which we developed in the off season, right? We
Hmm.
here to hit people in the mouth. All right. We're here to connect on passes. We're here to be the smartest football team on the field, right? the most prepared football team on the field. So when you do get to game week and you're going into preparation for Iowa, now we get back into the flow of things, right? We get back into game week. We're back. We've gone off into this whole like destination of, mental destination of proper recovery. And sometimes recovery is physically, but it's also mentally. I need to get
Right.
more sharp here, right? I don't need to forget what's happening. I need to get sharper, right? I need to get back to the basics. And so that's what I'm saying as far as the preparation and self-scouting. That's what I say, when all that encompasses, it means self-scouting.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm right in line with that. My thing is when I look at even going back to the Rose Bowl, then coming back into this week, or not this week, but this season, facing Indiana coming off that bye, we need to figure out a way because we come out flat. It's the energy.
Mm-hmm.
So how, if I'm Will Stein, if I'm Tosh, if I'm Coach Lanning, my emphasis during this bye week is even though we're not playing and this is a down week, our energy got to be there from the jump.
Yeah.
So what am I doing? What am I putting in place? What am I coming up with that's keeping these guys' energy that right off the back, as soon as we start? Like I loved what Chip used to do in practice, right? And I think even, I'm not sure if it was the same for you. You played way back in the day.
Don't worry, Lord. Don't worry, Lord. I ain't going to do nothing to him.
But how we started off practice every single day with Fuji.
Mm-hmm.
What that was balls to the wall, no coaching, no timeouts. It was a 10-play drive up and down the field, ones versus ones, tempo. Go, 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 go. Any mistakes we make, we'll correct in the film room. But right now, this is just to get you going.
Yeah.
This is how we're starting off practice every single day. So I feel like we need to do something to where we're coming out of the gates.
Yeah.
Engines firing on all cylinders.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The oil is pumping to each and every cylinder that we need, and we are firing.
Yeah, almost like, I had this thought the other day where I was thinking maybe scripted plays need to be like injected into these kids' veins throughout the week so that way they have no doubt in their minds what they're doing first play of the game, and Will Stein calls whatever he calls. But maybe it's the opposite of that, right? Maybe it's just the mentality of like what you just said. Like you start to practice off of Fuji, anything goes, anything can happen, right?
Yeah.
I'm ready for it though.
Sudden change is thrown in there. All that, yeah.
Like I'm ready for whatever. Just give me the opportunity, coach. If you telling me that we running to the left, you running to my side, I'm there. If we running to the right, I got your back, right? I hope you cut it back. You know what I'm saying? Like I think maybe there has to be a little bit of shift in energy during these bye weeks where you do come back with a refresh of, okay, we're not just better physically, but mentally we're sharper. We have a bit more edge, and confidence about ourselves because we went back to the basics.
And boy, I always say this, you be leading this horse to water and I'm gonna drink every single time. You talk about that energy aspect and getting back to the basics. Like I wouldn't be opposed to, how once season ends, you go into winter ball.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bunch of competitive drills that you're doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tire pools, different races. It's just a bunch of different competitive things taking place to get everything going. I wouldn't be opposed to that.
He might have it drawn up.
You know what I'm saying? Have like the first couple of days of like winter ball, right? During your bye week. Okay, we're not going to do anything football related, but we're going to get out here and compete. I want to see who wanted more. I wanted the energy, the guys supporting the guys, yelling, you have to foster that environment.
And then you can actually start seeing who falling off.
Yeah.
Hey.
You good? Hey, you good over there?
Straight?
You straight?
I know you banged up and everything. You recovering, your physical and all that.
Yeah.
But I need your vocals.
Yeah,
I need your vocals.
I need you. I need that. So that's something that I think we need to be very intentional about. Is coming out each and every day of this bye week, starting each and every meeting I need energy.
Yeah.
Right off the rip, I need to create an environment to where before a meeting, I need to tell my guy, all right, hey, bring it back in, hold it down. And I know Dan comes in meeting room with the speakers and all of that. Maybe you just need to have a party before, you know what I'm saying? We need to do something. Dan is a mental guy, right? He's all about getting you to a place mentally. So I would love, and I'm hoping that's what he does this week, is somehow, some way, instill energy in these guys from jump, the beginning of every meeting. And I don't want y'all, don't come in here sitting down. Nah, get up on your feet.
Yeah, juice.
Juice.
Plugged in.
Juice.
I need you plugged in. I don't need no batteries. I need you plugged into the source.
Yeah, I need you in the socket, boy. I need you plugged into the socket, okay? Yeah, we don't want no batteries. We want straight electricity.
Yeah, I
batteries
want the source.
run out, baby.
Yeah, I need the
Yeah. I need all that. Yeah, so I think that's something that we need to focus on during this bye week. And I think we did our thing with that right there. Let me just go ahead and give it. Let me pat us on the back right there. But I want to get to the defensive side of the ball before we get out. An area where we struggled. Again, the weather, as my son likes to say, he calls it the inclement weather, Daddy, kept us from going to recess today. That's what my son's. Yeah,
your son's out here eloquent with his words. That boy.
Boy, listen, that boy good, okay? That boy good.
That boy smart. Smarter than you.
But the inclement weather played a part in this game. But at the same time, again, we see certain things show their head again. And in this game, on both sides of the ball, we were taken advantage of on the ground.
Yeah.
You have Gideon Ituka had 21 carries for 85 yards, who was really just having his way. He was getting 4 or 5 yards a pop every time he touched it. Then you had Cade Yakameli, who came in, went 3 for 16 with 5.3. But Wisconsin was moving the ball on the ground. And so that's something that continues to show its head in certain spots throughout the season as the season is played out. And so on this bye week, I think, as you talked about, we need to self-scout. We need to get back in that film room and see what's going on in the run game. What areas are we being taken advantage of? What is it that we need to do to be able to maximize and capitalize and get better on the ground? I think Tatum is playing out of his mind right now. I think Bear Alexander is another guy. Maury Washington, I think these guys are truly coming alive in this space. I think as a defense, we have to hone in on this run game. We have to hone in on what it is and what it is that allows teams to take advantage of it. So I think that self-scout is something that's going to be key.
Yeah, I think, there's watching some of the runs that they had large, big gains on, consistent gains too. It came from outside containment, and it's simple as guys just doing their job, right?
Yeah.
Set the edge.
Gap integrity,
all the things that you're being preached to and talked down to every single week. And what happens is you get into these elements, these games where you have the weather as a factor. You start feeling sorry for yourself, and you want to take a play off thinking that, the ball's going one direction, so you can kind of let up one play. That one play will be the play that they break, right? And so you have to play every down like it's your last down. The moment that you let up is the moment that you give guys an opportunity to get back into this game. And the run game, that running back is pretty good. Like he has good explosion to him. He doesn't shy away from color, meaning he hits a lane and he goes, right? He doesn't slow down because he sees a guy.
True north and south runner.
Exactly, which is if you're in the way, you still have to tackle me. Doesn't mean you're going to tackle me just because you're there, right? So, I think our defensive ends, we have some really good ones. I think they didn't play their best game.
Yeah,
that's just kind of what I see. Whenever we get guys winning on the edges against us, there should be no reason why that's happening.
Yeah, I think Tatum is truly coming alive.
Yeah.
In his defense. Like he's always had a motor. He's always been a high energy dude, but now like we're seeing him show up each and every game, play after play. Tatum, I love we talked about him last week. Bear
Yeah.
Alexander, a guy that is continually showing up. Amari
Omari,
Washington.
a guy that I think needs to step up more than Mateo. The play specifically that I'm talking about came to Wisconsin had a run where the running back cut back to the right, and
To the right.
and it was
Mateo.
Mateo, and
Yeah.
he was going lateral down the line of scrimmage. You at least have to take one step north and south, okay? Because if you're not solidifying yourself as the edge, and that's your job. You are Mateo. If I see you on a cutback, I'm not cutting back. I'm not bouncing it. I'm not doing anything. I'm going to forfeit, right? You know, and
Yeah.
that's got to be your mentality as far as just your presence at the line of scrimmage. And that's why, you know, we're depending on you. And what that does, it allows for our linebackers and our secondary to be free flowing and being able to play to the ball and those types of things.
Yeah. Dylan Thieneman and DT is kind of he's all over the place right now. DT, listen, it's not a bone to pick, it's not a problem, but I know how I see greatness in you. I was ecstatic, okay, when it came out that you had committed to the Ducks.
When they said unto me, I was glad when they said unto me. I was glad when they said unto me, let Dylan come to the house of Oregon.
That boy didn't change the gospel song. Boy, listen. No, but I love the PBUs, DT, but we got to figure out how to turn them PBUs into INTs, baby. The PBUs look good, but the interception that's what make you first round. You know what I'm saying? Getting them balls. He's a great defender. He's a great leader at that back end. I think he's coming alive. You know, football is about finding your groove, finding your rhythm, getting comfortable. And over the course of these last couple of games, DT has really been showing up and showing out. So shout out to Dylan. I just need picks from you, okay? Listen, I don't want you to win, boy. I want you to excel, okay?
Yeah.
I just don't want you to win. I want you to excel. So I need you to figure out how to turn them PBUs into INT. So yeah, I need you to figure out how to turn them PBUs into INTs, baby. Yeah. Let's get them turnovers. Another cat that is showing up, Bryce. Bryce has been playing well over the past couple of weeks. I'm always going to show Aaron Flowers love. That's listen.
Oh, Aaron Flowers, boy. Hey, you told me.
Yeah, dog.
I was like, who was that? And he was like, nah, just wait.
Just wait. Him. We have such a core on this defensive side of the ball. When you look at Brandon Finney, you know what I'm saying? Young. Aaron Flowers, young. It's we gonna be set up for success.
We're gonna be set up for success there, brother.
So
So don't you worry about a thing. Don't you worry about a thing, okay?
I like that, man. No, but shout out again, Oregon getting it done. The ultimate goal of football, every time you step on the field, is to win, and that's exactly what we did, no matter how it looks. So, again, initial thoughts on this game were I was irritated. Like, what's going on? Why are we struggling? Why are we not putting up points? But after going back, sitting, this is why you got to stay off social media, right?
You out there going crazy. You got them receipts.
Yeah, you got to see it for yourself. Because just going off of social media, boy, I could have came on here and completely made a fool of myself if I didn't go back and watch it for myself and really put eyes on it. I think, well, first of all, we can't get out of here without discussing Dante Moore. I mean, his injury, which I'm assuming and based on the still shot that I seen, it's a broken nose. Which is crazy. How I don't understand how
you gotta get a different face mask.
Yeah, we got to close that gap. We got not the crossbar.
Get that boy old school. Boy. Get that damn linebacker. Get that boy a linebacker helmet.
No, put a visor on. The visor is a must. Like we can't have that.
Yeah, he gonna look if he's okay throwing the ball with a visor on. He gonna look cold. Yeah, tell him that you got eyes. Tell him your eyes is messed up too, so you can get a dark visor.
Get a dark visor. Yeah. Ooh. Listen, we on here laughing. We aren't laughing at the injury. We're not making light of it. But gladly it is.
Brother.
Yeah, but gladly, you know what I'm saying? It isn't anything major, right? That will a season-ending injury or something like that. It was good to see him out on the sidelines, still supporting the squad. But we got to talk about Brock. We got to talk about Brock coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And I was not mad at what I seen from him outside of the errant throw that should have been an interception.
Yeah.
I thought Brock came in and did what you expect a backup quarterback to do, and I don't want to call him a backup, but
Oh, he came in there to manage the game. He was the
yeah,
best
and
person on the depth chart to go in there and manage the game.
I like what I seen from him. He was very poised.
Mm-hmm.
For someone who has not seen a lot of action. He came in, delivered some beautiful balls. He clearly can throw the ball, so I was pleased with that.
Yeah, and for the fact that your offensive coordinator has enough trust in you to run a trick play
Yeah.
on the goal line speaks volumes, right? He trusts you enough to be able to see that play through. So clearly, he's a guy that's a smart quarterback. He has the trust of the coaching staff and the players around him. So it was good to see him out there.
And he did not come into a sunshine blue skies game.
No.
He came into a storm of a game. So this was not an easy game for any backup quarterback to come in and be poised and execute the way that he executed, make the throws that he made in the weather.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Brock. And there was some noise after the game where Dan, you know how Dan gonna answer questions, but he answered the question like he went 4 for 4 with a touchdown. So what are we talking about?
Like people were trying to nitpick.
Yeah.
Like ain't nothing to nitpick. That boy went 11.5 yards per attempt.
Yeah, he came in and did his thing. So shout out to Brock Thomas getting out there and getting it done.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't have a game to talk about right now, right?
Just got to get ready. So this is a self-scout week.
Yeah.
What are you good at? What do you stink at? What do you want to get better at? And where's your juice?
Okay. We do over and unders to end this thing, right?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna create an over under for us, right?
Okay.
Over or under, Oregon will come out with enough energy that will propel them throughout this first quarter. You taking over there, the under on that?
It's a away game.
Yeah, we are at Iowa.
Yeah, I'm taking the over because you absolutely naturally have to get yourself up to go play an away game.
Better.
So why not be already rested and sharpen your tools. Got all the tools in your belt, strap it up.
Okay, I got another over under for you. Over or under Dante Moore will be in the lineup next week.
Over.
Okay.
Boy, hey, listen.
First of all, hey.
A broken nose is cosmetic, man. Put that dang helmet on, strap up, and go and play some football.
Okay, now what if you know how the bridge of the helmets right here be sliding down? I'm just playing. I'm playing the advocate right now. Okay, I'm playing.
You playing player guy. I hear you.
I'm on this shoulder right now.
Now
okay?
Listen, if his nose is broken and it does affect his helmet as far as it coming down and it doesn't give him a chance to properly heal, then obviously we gotta run that rock, okay? And then he's not.
Let
me
see
playing.
If you can run it. Is your man on the floor?
If he ain't, let me know. But anyways, Dante Moore. Over or under, I'm banking on the fact that I don't know any information besides a broken nose, bloody nose, rainy day, sunny day. Dante Moore is coming to play.
Boy, I could have finished that for you. I knew you was going. I knew you. Yeah, I like it. I don't like it. I love it. I love it. Yeah. Well, Ducks get the job done. 21-7. 4-1 in the Big Ten, 7-1 overall. Still in position to make a run for that Big Ten championship with some things taking place in front of us. But before all of that, we got to take care of us, and that's exactly what we did this past weekend. And throughout this bye week, get healthy, get refocused. This is the last quarter of the season, the last 4 games, and it's a big stretch. You come off of this, you go Iowa. After Iowa, Minnesota, then you get SC, and then you head up north to go play the Puppies. So, this is it. important 4-game stretch. But with that being said, that's all we got time for, baby. And Stu, I love you.
Love you, dog.
And as always, ducks of a feather flock together, and we out.